A cruel decree was issued. Cries echoed throughout Egypt. Children were hunted, and in the midst of that storm of fear, a mother quietly placed her child into a small basket, setting him upon the river, as though placing all her hope into the hands of God. This is not only a story of the past, it is a journey of faith, of obedience, and of a leader whom God himself prepared. Don't scroll away because the story of Moses begins now. Egypt was prosperous, powerful, magnificent, but behind the towering pyramids and mighty monuments were sweat, blood, and the groans of the Israelites who were forced into slavery. A new Pharaoh came to the throne, cold, ambitious, full of suspicion. He saw the Israelites growing more numerous and became afraid they would rebel, afraid that one day his throne would tremble. So a terrifying command was given. Every Hebrew baby boy who was born, throw him into the river. Fear swept into every household. Every newborn cry was no longer joy, but a threat. Moses' mother, an ordinary woman, held her little child. His weak cries seemed to tear her heart apart. She covered his mouth with her hand, trembling, afraid that even the slightest sound might reach the ears of the soldiers. Tears fell upon the child's tiny face. Lord, have mercy. 3 months passed. She knew she could not hide him forever. Many sleepless nights went by, and at last she wove a small basket, sealed it carefully with pitch, and placed the baby inside. She did not know what would happen, only that there was one who saw everything. She pushed the basket into the water, then knelt down, hands digging into the sand, weeping without a sound. The river carried this child away. The basket drifted and bobbed until it reached the place where the maidservants of Pharaoh's daughter were bathing. She saw it and ordered them to bring it to her. When the basket was opened, the child began to cry, and her heart softened. This is one of the Hebrew babies. She decided to keep the baby. Later, she named him Moses, because as scripture says, I drew him out of the water. The child grew up in the palace of Egypt, marble walls, polished stone floors, columns carved with images of the gods. Moses learned language, law, philosophy, and even military strategy. He walked through great halls, heard songs that praised Pharaoh, and saw the might of an empire that looked invincible. But every time he saw the Hebrew slaves toiling under the sun, he knew deep inside he belonged to them. One day, he saw an Egyptian overseer beating a Hebrew slave. Anger flared. He looked around, saw no one, and struck. The Egyptian fell dead. The sand was scraped over the blood, but sand cannot bury everything. The next day, he saw 2 Hebrews fighting. He said,
"Why do you strike your fellow Hebrew?"
The man replied coldly,
"Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?"
Moses' heart sank. News spread quickly. When Pharaoh heard of it, Moses' life was in danger. He fled, leaving behind marble torches and a future of power once waiting for him. The desert of Midian greeted him with harsh silence. Wind blew sand into his face. Days burned like fire. Nights cut like knives. He found work and became a shepherd. Years slipped by, like water sinking into sand. He married, had children. A simple life, repetitive without glory. Many nights he looked up at the starry sky and wondered, was everything in Egypt only a dream? He no longer spoke of calling, no longer thought of rescue. He simply lived as so many others had lived. But the desert is not a place of forgetting. It is God's school. One day, when he was leading the flock to the far side of Horeb, he saw something strange. A bush blazing with fire, yet not burning up. The flames danced brightly, and yet the leaves remained. He drew closer. A voice called out, not from man, and not from the wind. I am Moses. He trembled. Here I am. The voice was deep and full of authority. Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. He bowed his face to the ground. God spoke of the suffering of his people in Egypt, of their cries, and then said, You'll go. I am sending you to Pharaoh. Moses' heart tightened. Who am I to go? I am not eloquent. I am afraid. And God answered with a promise that would follow him all his life. I will be with you. Enter chapter 3:12. Moses returned to Egypt. The palace was still splendid, but now it seemed small compared to the mission he carried. He and Aaron stood before Pharaoh, and spoke simply, yet with authority, "Let my people go." Pharaoh laughed in scorn. To him, Moses was only a shepherd. Instead of releasing the people, he increased their burdens. Groans rose everywhere. Then the plagues came, one by one. The river turned to blood frogs swarmed the land. Flies and gnats filled the air. Locusts devoured crops. Darkness spread like a thick curtain until the final night. The night when each household had to mark the doorposts with the blood of a lamb. God said, "When I see the blood, I will pass over you." Exodus 12:13. That night, cries echoed across Egypt. Pharaoh yielded. The Israelites departed, hearts full of hope, but the road ahead was far from smooth. Before them lay the Red Sea. Behind them, the Egyptian army. The people cried out,
Why did you bring us out of Egypt? It would have been better to die there.
Moses stood between the sea, and the people raised his hand and said,
Do not be afraid.
The wind blew all night. The waters parted. A dry path opened through the sea. The people crossed one by one. Family, my family. When the Egyptians pursued them, the waters came crashing down. By morning, the sea was calm again, as though nothing had happened. But the desert ahead held more trials. Scorching heat, hunger, doubt creeping in. They asked, "Is the Lord among us or not?" God sent manna from heaven. He brought water forth from dry rock. Yet hearts remained stubborn. Many nights Moses sighed.
Lord, I cannot carry these people by myself.
Then they reached Sinai. Thick cloud covered the mountain. Thunder trumpet blasts, lightning flashed. Moses climbed up alone. There God spoke, "I am the Lord your God." Exodus 22. He gave the law, the foundation of a new nation. But at the foot of the mountain, the people grew restless. Moses is taking too long. They gathered gold, fashioned a calf, danced, and shouted, "This is the God who brought us out of Egypt." When Moses came down and saw it, his heart shattered. He smashed the tablets because the people had broken the covenant. That night, the camp fell silent. Everyone bowed their heads, knowing they had sinned. Moses went out alone. He interceded, "Lord, these people have committed a great sin, but please forgive them. If not, then blot my name out of your book." He did not seek honor for himself. He only begged God not to abandon his people. God answered. He was just yet full of mercy. He continued to lead them because he had promised. Afterward, Moses climbed the mountain again, carrying new tablets. On the summit among clouds and glory, God wrote the law once more as a sign that the covenant still remained and his love had not given up. Scripture records, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. Deuteronomy chapter 34:10. When he came down, his face shone not because he was great, but because he had been near God. The people understood God was still with them, and they must learn reverence and obedience. Years passed. The generation that left Egypt slowly faded away. A new generation, Azan, arose stronger, with less of slavery's dust clinging to them. And then Moses rested, leaving behind no palace, no monuments, but a nation led a road of faith, a testimony that God uses weak people to accomplish things no one expects. The life of Moses reminds us that God does not look for perfect people. He looks for hearts willing to obey, even when they tremble and feel weak. Moses had anger, doubt, fear, and weariness, yet he learned one truth above all. If God does not go with me, I will not go. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is continuing to walk because we know God is there. In life, each of us has our own desert failures, trials, unanswered prayers. And it is exactly in those deserts that God teaches us to know Him more deeply. Like Moses, we too can say, "Lord, teach me your ways." Even when we do not yet see the promised land, we can walk in peace because we believe He is leading the way.